Hey, sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes. I'm here to do part four of our four-part series talking about the key games in all of the Power Four conferences. The first one we did, part one, was the Big 12, where I believe that Oklahoma State and Utah will play for the Big 12 championship. Part two was the ACC, where I believe Florida State will play Miami for the ACC championship. And part three was the Big Ten, where I believe Oregon and Ohio State will meet up for the Big Ten championship. So part four will be the SEC, the conference in which I believe is the toughest conference in college football. Now that they have added Oklahoma and Texas, they've become even stronger. So between the Big Ten and the SEC, you have two powerful conferences, but I think the SEC is the toughest by a small margin. So let's get into the key games in the SEC this year. There's a bunch of them, more than in the other three conferences. So the SEC is going to be a tough slate for anybody to run the table and go undefeated. So let's get into it. The first game that I think is a key game in the SEC is Texas A&M at Florida. Florida at the beginning of the year is going to be tough on any opponent that they play because they have a lot of talent. They just have a brutal schedule. And towards the end of the season, they're probably going to be banged up. But I think in the beginning, they're going to give Texas A&M a run for their money. But I think Texas A&M might pull this game out in the swamp. But if they do, it's definitely going to be 3 points or less. The next game I want to talk about is Georgia at Kentucky. Everybody thought last year that Kentucky was going to be able to run the ball against Georgia, but Georgia just totally manhandled Kentucky last year. This year, I think the game will be more the same, even though it's in Kentucky. I think that the talent that Georgia has will just be too much for Kentucky, and Georgia will probably beat them definitely by double figures, maybe even 20. The next game I want to talk about is Tennessee at Oklahoma. One of the newcomers, Oklahoma, at playing against Tennessee. I think that Tennessee and Oklahoma is going to be a great game because they're probably pretty evenly matched. I think the difference is going to be that Oklahoma's line, offensive line, is really not that good. They lost all of their linemen to the transfer portal or to graduation. So I'm thinking that they're going to have some serious work to do on that offensive line, which is going to make it tough for that first year starting quarterback. I think that Tennessee will pull this game out and beat Oklahoma. The next game I want to talk about is Georgia at Alabama. Now we all know Georgia is trying to get them some get back from losing to Alabama last year in that SEC championship game, allowing Alabama to make it to the four-team college football playoff, knocking Georgia out of the race. So I know those Georgia Bulldogs are going to be geeked to come in there in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, and do what Texas did last year to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, which is something that does not happen very often. So, Coach DeBoer, I hope you got Alabama ready because Georgia is coming for you. I think Georgia's going to pull out that win, but we'll have to wait and see. The next game is Missouri at Texas A&M. Missouri has a very good team. Very good team. We seen how well they played against Ohio State last year in the bowl game. A crippled Ohio State Buckeye team, by the way. But I think Missouri is a very good quality team in the SEC. But I do not think they're going to beat Texas A&M at Texas A&M in College Station. I do not think that Tennessee is going to come out of there. I mean, Missouri is going to come out of there with the victory. The next game is Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl against Texas. Listen, this is the greatest rivalry in college football, bar none. Neutral site, the crowd is split 50-50, right down the middle, one side in burnt orange, the other side in crimson. Man, you can't get no better than that. At the Texas State Fair with Big Tex, man, that game is lit every single year. I think Texas is going to get some good get back on Oklahoma and beat them handily this year. They're probably going to beat them not quite as much as that 49 to nothing 2 years ago, but it's going to be close. Because I'm telling you now, they want some serious revenge on Oklahoma for putting that one loss on them in the regular season. So Texas is going to be gunning for them Oklahoma Sooners on that day. The next game is Alabama at Tennessee. Tennessee has got to find a way to get over the hump and beat the likes of Georgia and Alabama if they want to get to the top of this SEC. Until they do that consistently, they are not going to be taken seriously, and they're definitely not going to be considered the real UT. The real UT is the University of Texas in Austin. So, Tennessee, if you want to claim that UT, you better get on the ball and beat Alabama. But I don't think you will. I think Alabama's going to come in there and hand it to you because you ain't ready. The next game is Georgia at Texas. Listen, I'm a Longhorns fan, and I want my Horns to beat them. But I think it's going to be a very tough, physical game. And what I'm hoping is that Georgia beats Texas by about 3 points. A close, hard fought battle. So when they meet again in the SEC championship, Texas knows that they what to do to beat Georgia. And I think they're gonna have the motivation to do it if they lose this game in Texas. But I think Georgia's gonna win it by 3 points or less. The next game is Oklahoma at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a sleeper team in the SEC. Lane Kiffin can call some offensive plays, y'all, and he's going to put up some points on everybody that they play in the SEC. Hopefully, he has a good enough defense to keep points off the board from the opposing team because they're going to score some points. Hopefully, their defense can play complementary football and keep the other team from scoring more. But I think that Ole Miss is going to beat Oklahoma in this game. The next game I'm talking about is Missouri and Alabama. Listen, Missouri, Alabama going to show you who your daddy is because they got some tough games on their schedule to where by the time they get to you, they are not going to be playing with anybody. They're going to be trying to take off some heads. And Alabama going to show you on that night, Missouri, or that day, that they are your daddy. And they're going to whoop up on you and let you know that you don't belong at the upper echelon of the SEC. I'm taking Alabama. The next game I want to talk about is Alabama at LSU. LSU, you had the Heisman Trophy winner last year, and y'all had a serious battle against Alabama. That was a really great game. I believe the game will be like that again this year. It's going to be 35. Score's going to be in the 30s for both teams. I think both of those teams are going to come out there hungry and on fire to finish this season strong and try to reach that SEC championship game or try to be one of those SEC teams that gets into the college football playoffs. I really believe that in the Big Ten and in the SEC, they got a chance to get three teams into the 12-team playoff. Even if they have three losses, I believe they're going to be ranked higher than any of those other teams outside of the SEC or the Big Ten. ACC team, Big 12 team, I don't think they're going to be able to keep any of those teams out because they're not in a tough enough conference. And when this SEC schedule goes, these teams are going to be playing some tough games, and they're going to get the benefit of the doubt if they have a three-loss team in the SEC or the Big Ten, I believe. But the next game I want to talk about is Georgia at Ole Miss. Listen, Ole Miss, Georgia's going to try to come in there and tell you who your daddy is, but don't let them. I think you have a chance to put up some points on them and put some fear in their heart in that fourth quarter and possibly pull out this game. I don't think you will, but you got a good shot at doing it because you can score some points. But I'm taking Georgia in a very close game, a high scoring game at that. But I believe Georgia's going to pull it out. The next game is Tennessee at Georgia. Listen, Tennessee, this is another one of them games where you got to knock off the Alabamas and the Georgias in order to be the real UT. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to have to be just Tennessee. You can't be the real UT if you can't beat Alabama and Georgia. So do that, and you'll get some respect as the real UT. But right now, the real UT is the Texas Longhorns. Now, let me go on and let you know that Georgia going to beat up on you. They're going to beat up on you. You coming to Georgia too? In Athens? Oh, yeah, you getting beat up on. So I'm taking Georgia big in that game. The last game I want to talk about, another rivalry game with my horns. Texas at Texas A&M. Listen, Texas fans, and I'm talking to myself. We better come ready to play, because Texas A&M wants nothing more than to spoil our season. If we come through and beat Michigan and Georgia and run the rest of the table, Texas A&M is going to try to play spoiler and put a blemish on our record the way Oklahoma did last year. We have to come ready to play. The 12th man is going to be in full effect at College Station, screaming and yelling all sorts of obscenities to our fans and to our team. We have to be ready to play. Offensive line, you got to eat. Defensive line, you got to eat so that everybody else can do their part to pull out this victory. And I believe Texas will win that game by a small margin, a one-score game. But I really do believe Texas A&M is going to give Texas all they can handle in that game. The emotions are going to be high. Everybody's going to be enthusiastic. The rivalry is back after 12 years. They still got that bad taste in their mouth when uh Mr. Tucker kicked that last second field goal on them, the best kicker in the NFL, Justin Tucker, they still got that bad taste in their mouth. They want to get it out at the end of the season, the rivalry game during rivalry week. They want to get that taste out their mouth. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to throw some more nasty tasting food in your mouth, Texas A&M Aggies. Horns in a one-score game. Now, I'm very excited that I was able to finish part 4 of the key games in every Power 4 conference. I'm so excited that college football is just a few weeks away. Can y'all believe it? We're going to be watching college football on August the 24th. 3 weeks away. Man, you know how boring it is when the NBA ends? For me anyway. Now other people they watch all them other sports, which I watch little bits of it, but it's not as exciting as college football. College football to me is the most exciting sport ever. And that's just my opinion. Because I know you got people that's in other countries that love soccer, that love that form of football. And I ain't hating on them. It's just my thing is that college football. I love it. Every week, excitement. Waking up at 9 o'clock to watch college game day. Now, believe me, I'm up earlier than 9 o'clock. Don't think I just wake up right at 9 o'clock to watch college game day. I don't. I'm up way earlier than that. But I love tuning in to college game day, listening to all that pageantry, all that excitement. It gets me geeked, especially hearing that song that they play right before it comes on. Man, that song be lit. I mean, that song be lit. It gets me going. So I'm excited about this season of college football, and I'm hoping that my Longhorns can do what they need to do to make the 12-team college playoff. I hope that all of the players that are going to be playing can stay as healthy as possible. No season-ending injuries. I hope they go out there and have fun, get all their schoolwork done, pass all their tests, and do all that great stuff that makes being in college exciting. So with no further delay, let me go ahead and wrap this video up. Please subscribe. If you already have subscribed, please go and look at all the other videos and hit the like button. If I got 93 subscribers, if we have 93 subscribers, let me get that right. If we have 93 subscribers so far, I would like to see 93 likes. I think we can do that. Make sure that you hit the bell so that you can get notifications anytime we drop a new video. We're going to try to do at least 2 videos a day, if possible, if we have time to do that. But I'm very excited about college football. I'm very grateful and thankful to you all for tuning in, for supporting us, and for being with us. It was exciting to see all my friends at the Windsor Terrace reunion. That was so exciting, man, to see guys. And they all like, oh, man, I subscribed to the channel. I subscribed to the channel, man. You pumping out videos, man. You pumping out videos. That's exciting. And I can't wait till I get to get them on the show. That's going to be really super exciting to be able to have all of the homies come on the show and just share some of what they love about college football, their team, what they think are going to be the highs and lows, who they're excited to see play, who they think they're going to whoop up on, who they think they might have a serious contest with, all of those good things. So I'm excited, and I thank you again for tuning in to another episode or another video with WTP Sports Dudes. Welcome.